All right. So before we begin, now I got a couple polls for you guys here. How many of you guys are actually currently, now you guys are going to see this. Oh, excuse me. Stephanie has a question. Still have 2.09. Will this matter for today? Stephanie, really, there's not much difference between the 2.09 and the 2.1. The magic envelope is just basically the biggest difference between both of those. Now you'll notice up here I'm actually using the 2.1 that we're actually testing out right now, but currently have not released, so don't be freaked out if you guys see that 2.11 up here. Right now, the most current version is the 2.10. All right, what's up, Russ? Thank you, Russ. Russ said, always getting good info from you guys. Thank you, Russ. Now, we also do have another webinar scheduled tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern time. For those of you that get out of work late or aren't able to make the earlier webinars, we're also going to have that webinar tonight. And actually, we have a whole schedule listed on the website right now. Have you guys seen those already? Have you guys gone on the website and seen where the schedule is for the upcoming webinars? Yes, okay. Awesome. And for those of you guys that haven't, I'm going to go ahead and bring the screen up here. So I'm going to go over here and show you guys the website. And if you guys go up to the top here, the top tabs, and scroll down, you'll see where it says True Webinar Schedule. Just click on that, and you're going to see the whole list here all the way until November 20th. So we have all the different ones. As you can tell, today is the basic overview of the TRW Stone Wizard with myself, Rudy, teaching it, and Daniel on the other side. Tonight, we're going to be doing a Corel Draw and TRW Stone Wizard tips and tricks when creating unique designs, and that's going to be taught by Matt, and I'm going to be answering the questions on the other side. Also, I believe Thursday, Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be doing a how to design, cut, weed, and press a custom high school shirt for selling to schools, and we're going to be using the GraphTech CE 6060. So that's going to be a great webinar. It's going to be a live feed where you guys are going to be seeing the whole process from beginning to end. We're also going to be doing, that's also going to be taught by Matt and questions by Daniel. Friday, it's going to be the free lounge. It's going to be basically a laid-back, open forum for you guys to be able to go in there and ask Matt any questions you guys have. He's there, more than welcome to, more than happy to answer all those questions for you guys. Again, that's going to be Matt teaching it and Daniel on the other side. Next Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be doing how to create a unique design with TRW TrueType fonts and TRW Stone Wizard software. Now I'm going to be teaching that one. And of course, that's a free one for you guys. It's going to be a live screen share like we're doing right now. All right, and Patty already has a question. She said, if I cannot make it to the scheduled webinars, is there a way to watch them later? Yes, Patty, we actually record most of the webinars. The only ones we aren't going to be recording is the one I'm going to get to right now. It's the one next Wednesday, which is at 10:30, and this is a true live class, and these are brand new webinars we're going to be starting doing, and these are very similar to the ones that we actually do the seminars at the shows. So if you guys have ever attended any of the shows and you've seen one of our seminars, this is going to be very similar to that. A lot of great information you guys are going to get from these true life classes, and again, those are not going to be recorded. Okay, no problem, Stephanie. But that's going to be taught by Matt, and I'll be doing the questions for that one. And that again, that's a live video stream, so you guys are going to be able to see Matt real live time and see what he's going through there. Stephanie also has another question. Sorry to ask another question, but I am very new to both Corel and Wizard, so I watch and pause a lot. How will I be able to keep up? And Stephanie, I'm going to try to keep up. I'm going to try to go a little bit slower. But like I said, we are going to be recording this one. I'm going to be doing today. So at any point after, once we have the webinar listed on the YouTube channel, you can just go back and watch this, rewatch this webinar. We also have previous webinars already recorded on that YouTube page as well. They can go back and watch all for free. All right, and then next Wednesday at 9 p.m. again at night, Eastern Time, we're going to be doing a basic Corel Draw introduction with most used tools when designing, and I'll be teaching that one as well with Daniel answering the questions. And finally, next Thursday, just right before, a week before Thanksgiving, we're going to do another True Life class on how to maximize your profits with Rhinestones, heat transfer vinyl, and vinyl decals, and that's going to be taught by Matt, and that's actually a class we just taught recently at the Charlotte show. So if you guys went to the Charlotte show, we actually taught that class at a seminar, and it was a very successful class. A lot of great knowledge given out at that class. A lot of good questions going on as well in there. So that was a great turnout with that class. Also, like I mentioned earlier, we also do have the Veterans Day sale today. Again, we're really proud of our veterans out there and all those on active duty. Right here, it's going to be 30% off download files, also 10% off Rhinestones, heat transfer vinyl, tools, and accessories. So you can see right there, starts today, November 11th at 12 a.m. and ends tonight at 11:59 Eastern Time. No problem, Stephanie. No problem at all. Alright, so enough of that. Let's go ahead and get started with this webinar, guys. And Douglas does have a question. Said, is there any way to cut right from Corel or Wizard to my cutter? It's a red sale sold by Sign Warehouse. Currently I'm exporting to EPS, cutting from one PC. Douglas, unless that particular software, or excuse me, cutter, has a cutting software macro for Corel Draw, right now there's not going to be a way to cut directly from Corel. Because I'm not too familiar with that cutter, so I'm not familiar with the software that you use for it. Unless you except you said you're using WinPC to cut, but as far as that, unless it has a macro for Corel Draw, you're not going to be able to cut directly from there. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started here. So first thing you'll notice when you pull up the wizard, so let's close down the wizard right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up, and what you'll notice is we have it over here in the left corner right here. It's a little logo. Just go ahead and click on that, and that's going to bring up the wizard for you. Again, we're using 2.11 here, but most of you guys are going to have the 2.09 or the 2.1. So obviously the first thing you're going to notice that kind of pops up is all the different colors here on the side, which are basically your rhinestone colors or your Easyweed colors when using vinyl. And basically we have 27 colors here that you guys can customize. We have an edit tab over here as well, but all your colors are going to be also placed in this drop-down menu here, which also can be edited by clicking on your little pencil tool here, and you'll see what comes up is this box with your TRW edit colors. And if you know the kind of color that you're using for that particular stone or Easyweed vinyl, you can actually enter the RGB number in here, which is going to customize you a color and add it right to that list. And then you're able to move it up, down, wherever you want to put it on the list for that particular color. Just hit save, and that's going to be installed right into your colors right here. And if you move it up and down, you can move it up and down on the side panel here as well, which is kind of your shortcut keys that we created for you guys to make things easy as far as finding the colors used most commonly. Up here we also have a maximize, minimize, zoom button, which we've actually had a lot of requests for just because different resolutions for different screens makes it a lot easier to see the wizard. You know, if you have a smaller screen, you can zoom in, zoom out. So if you want to go 150, you see how much larger that wizard gets for you. So it makes it really easy to go ahead and read all the different features on the wizard for you guys there. Alright, and we do have a question. I would love to pay extra for a Swarovski version of all the color names and measurements of stones. She said any of my Swarovski followers and fans would dive into this. And actually, Kelly, because we give you the option to edit the stone sizes, if you actually know the measurements of that Swarovski crystal, you can actually edit it and put it into the wizard so it comes up that size. So if you say you want to use something other than a 0.129 for SS10, click right here on your TRW edit stone sizes, and you can actually edit that stone size to whatever size you need it to be for whatever stones you're using. Because obviously we know not everybody's going to buy the stones from us. Not everybody's going to buy the vinyl from us. That's why we give you the option to edit all those colors in there and all the sizes to make it life easier for you guys. So you guys don't just have to come, you know, and purchase the items from us. You guys are able to use the wizard with other companies' stones and vinyls as well. Thank you. No problem at all. And like I was telling Kelly, this is where you would choose all your different stone sizes here. So as you can tell, we have SS6, and it gives you the size that we use, which is the 0.097, and this is all in inches, but we are working on converting this as well to millimeters, as we've had a lot of requests for that as well. So that's something that's going to be coming out pretty soon. But as you can tell, we have all the different sizes here. We have the SS6s, 8s, 10s, 16, 20s, 30, and 34s. And again, those are all adjustable. You can change the sizes to that. We also have our shortcut keys here. So we have 3 options here. So if you hold Shift and click on your key, what it's going to come up with is the TRW Quick Set. Go ahead and select the stone color or size that you frequently use. Hit Save, and now you have that ready to go. So let's just say you have a design created here. So we'll go ahead and just create a box for you guys real quick here, and I'm going to do inside, and I'm going to go over all these features here in a minute as well. So don't. So I'm going to go ahead and clear my paths here, and now let's just say I want to go ahead and now these are all SS6 or SS10 stones, as you can tell, but I want to make this design into an SS6 design, and it's going to resize the design. If I click my shortcut key here, notice how now it changed that design to an SS6 design. So now I got all my stones are 0.097, and also the size of the design changed as well. Now what you'll notice is if I go back one, if I redo what I just did, highlight my design and right click, now what just happened was it replaced the stones, but it did not resize the design. So it's the same exact design size as previously, but the stone size actually changed. So what that created was more spacing between the stones, as you can tell there. So that's what the shortcut keys do for you. Left click, resize the design with changing the stones, and right click, it's just going to replace the stones, not changing the actual design. Alright, so let me go ahead and we'll keep this box here, and let's go ahead and just make this into SS10s. Perfect. So as you can tell real quick, I changed those stones to 0.129. So now we're able to work and do what I need to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight my design. I'm going to make these two different colors here. And now we have our, again, we have our resize and replace stones here, which is basically the same thing I just showed you guys when doing the shortcut keys here. Right here we have our stone selecting keys. So basically what this is going to do is going to allow you to find all the same size selected. This one's going to show you all the same color selected, and this one's going to say select all the same size and colors for you. So if you just want to select all the pinks, then we're going to go ahead and go here and select all the pinks by clicking select all the same color. So if you want to select the same size, in that case, we're going to go ahead and go to the first one, which is only going to select the SS10s. So it's going to select all of them. But let's just say you have, some of these are actually 6s. What's going to happen then, let's go ahead and just keep this back to the same size. I'm going to go ahead and actually just do replace stones. So let's just say you have this kind of selection here, and you only want to select the SS10s. What we're going to do is I'm going to select on one of my SS10 stones, and I'm just going to go ahead over here and hit my select same size. So that's only going to select those SS10 stones that are in that design. See that? So the SS6s are not selected up there. All right, and Erica says, how do you get the toolbar on top? Erica, that's actually something that came out with a 2.09 version. So actually, if you have upgraded to 2.09, that toolbar up here is actually going to be installed with the wizard, and you're going to see it come up right like that. You're not going to have to go into your macros and drag it out like we're used to. Basically, now you're just going to upgrade, and it's going to be right there for you next time you open your Corel Draw. Excuse me. Yep, the 2.09. All right. Moving on. So first thing you'll notice is we have all our different tabs up here. So we have our Stone Wizard tab, we have our Fonts tab, Video Tutorial tabs, which is a main feature of the wizard. It has all the features that we offer in the normal version right here, in the Stone Wizard version. This one right here, you'll see the same layout. So let's just say you have your Edit tab. If you go to your Video Tutorials tab, I'm going to go to my Edit tab here, and notice you see the same layout. If I click on one of these features, what it's going to do, it's going to take me to a YouTube video. That's basically going to take me, and it's going to show me exactly how to work with this feature to utilize it to its best potential, and then it's going to make that design really flow and make it look professional, that professional look that we're looking for. So that Video Tutorial tab is going to be very helpful when learning the software. It's going to go, you can basically, like I know we had a question earlier about how can I learn the software, if I'm never worked with Corel or the Stone Wizard. So this Video Tutorials tab is going to allow you to basically click on the tab and follow step by step at your own pace how to use that tool or that feature that we've put into the wizard. So again, that Video Tutorial tab is very huge for the learning process. We also have our Shop TRW here, so if you actually want to go directly from the Stone Wizard to the TRW main page website, you can go from there. We also have some free TRW download files here, so not a lot of people actually know about this page up here, but we also have the secret TRW Stone Wizard owner only page, which is going to give you some hints and tips on how to do some different things as well. So a very cool little page here that not a lot of people know about, that has a lot of useful tools down here at the bottom as well as it takes you directly to our website, and of course all our contact information here. So starting off, we're going to go ahead and go to our Edit tab here. Edit tab is a pretty cool tab. It's going to allow you to do a lot of manipulating of designs, a lot of the texting. Fonts are going to be worked with in here, as well as your different vinyl designs, such as, if you're creating a two-color design with glitter vinyl, we have our magic trap in here. So starting off with our text spacing, this allows you to do different things when you're actually typing out a text. So let's just say you type out baseball, and we're going to go ahead and you want to just maybe expand the baseball, make it spread the spacing between each of the letters. We're just going to go ahead and click on text spacing here, and we can drag the little arrow here on the right hand corner, and it's going to increase or decrease the spacing between each letter, as you guys can see. Another cool little thing that you can do, if you actually grab each of the squares right here in the bottom left corner, you can actually move just that individual letter to make cool effects for that particular design. So as you can see, you can switch them all around and make some cool little different effects on that particular design that you're creating. All right, and Douglas does have a question. What is the closest you can get away with putting your stones together when cutting sticky flock? Preset is 0.02. But that seems really close. And Douglas, that's really up to you. We use 0.02 here. More of the professional cutters can get that close together. If you're using, maybe the silhouette cameo, then you might want to expand it just a little bit. The best thing you can always do though is make sure we like to just create a circle, place the stones in the circle, and we'll do 2 or 3 where we can just do test cuts and see which are cutting the best for that day. But of course, the 0.02 preset, that's free for you to change. You can actually change the preset up here and save your settings at the bottom here. So every time you bring your wizard up, you're actually able to use that preset that you've created, not the ones that come directly from the wizard. All right, so moving on. All right, so the next feature I want to show you guys is one that not a lot of people, again, use too much of, but it makes life a lot easier, and it's our copy selected here. So actually, if we're going to go ahead back here and create back to our baseball. And all I'm doing now to actually go back is I'm holding Control Z on my keyboard, and that allows you to go back to the steps prior to what you were at now. And Mike, actually no, this software is only compatible with Corel Draw versions X5, X6, and X7. Right now, it is not compatible with Illustrator. And Russ, shoot me an email about that question. Right now, I'll answer that question in an email, all right? Just info at the Rhinestone World, just do attention, Rudy. All right, so next thing is the copy selected again. Now, the copy selected is a pretty cool feature, just going to make your life easier when you're working with different, like I said, text designs. Maybe you want to duplicate a design and very quickly just hit your down arrow. You can hit your right arrow, and it's just going to duplicate that design very quickly. And it comes in handy. Let's just say you have maybe a row of stones. That copy selected, you can create different rows, different designs with that copy selected if you're working with rhinestones. The next thing I want to show you guys is the fill between 2 stones here. Very useful tool when you're actually working with rhinestone designs and you're trying to manipulate it and work with it and make the stones fit correctly. Basically, it's just going to allow you to have 2 stones here. And as you can tell, we have our drop stones one at a time down here feature. And that's going to allow you just to basically just drop stones just by clicking your left click. But the biggest thing is you want to make sure once you're done using that feature, you click off of it, turns it off, so now you're able to work back again on your workspace. Otherwise, you would start clicking around your workspace, and it's going to start creating rhinestones all over your page. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select these 2 stones here, and I'm going to do fill between 2 stones, and that just adds that it just fills that space between the 2 stones for you guys, makes it really easy to customize and adjust the design if there's a big spot or a big gap between those stones there. Oh, sorry, Kelly, I'll go ahead and do that again. So right here I got my drop stones one at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and click here, and I'm just going to create another one over here. I'm going to turn that feature off, and I'm going to select both my stones, and I'm going to go right here to where it says fill between 2 stones. And again, we have it preset at 0.02, but that's just completely up to you guys to change that preset settings there and have it as your own, whatever cuts best for you guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit fill between 2 stones, and that's going to do that fill between 2 stones for me. Next thing is you do want to just break it apart so that way you're able to actually work with each individual circle, and you're ready to go. So very easy, very quick tool there to help you guys when, like I said, edit those pre-made designs or edit designs that you've created yourselves. The next tool is our Magic Trap tool, which you guys probably have heard us talk about quite often, especially working with the holographic vinyl or the glitter vinyls out there. Basically, with those, they're just not recommended to layer them. Practically, they have a very rough texture that's going to make them peel after a few or certain amount of washes. Whereas the Magic Trap is going to allow you to put both of those directly onto the garment. It's going to create a nice space in between the outline, and it's also going to create a overlayer, which is going to allow you to give you more of a room for error when pressing these designs. So let's go ahead and show you how to do those. So very, very simple. Let's go ahead and do football here. It is football season, and we want to type out football, and now we want to create a contour line around it. So I'm going to go to my islands here. I'm going to create one island to the outside. I'm not going to add stones, but we're going to do the contour spacing on maybe 0.09, and I'm just going to go here and hit my island fill. So you notice now it created a contour line. Let's go ahead and change that to blue. And now what we have is a two-color design. Right now, if it was Easyweed, you can cut this out and press it, layer it right one on top of the other. But because we want to use use the glitter vinyl, what we're going to actually do is do that magic trap, which is going to simplify this design, and it's going to create that overlayer for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight both colors. I'm going to go to my Edit tab, and again, it's preset at 0.02, but that's the actual overlap that's going to create is 0.02 inches. But you can change that to your liking as well. It doesn't have to be the 0.02. And Russ said, yeah, I just did the fill between two stone trick. Yeah, pretty cool trick there, Russ. Alright, so let's go ahead and do the magic trap. And you'll notice nothing changes from the outside. You can't really tell it did anything, but if you zoom in, what it did was it simplified it. And if I go up here to my wireframe view, it also created that overlayer that we were talking about. So now this space in between right here gives you a little bit of room for error when pressing the second color on there. So it makes your life easier, and it doesn't bug your eyes when you're trying to fit that second layer on there. But the great thing about it is you can have two glitter colors directly onto the garment to ensure that that design is not going to come off the t-shirt or your bag or whatever you're trying to bling out with that glitter vinyl. Alright, so we're going to go back to our wireframe here, and we'll get rid of that. Alright, some of the other ones we have is select between two stones. Obviously, if you have, let's just say you have several stones separated apart here, we're going to go select, and then I'm going to use my fill between two stones. But now I want to select a group of stones in between certain stones selected. So I'm going to go here, and now I want to select everything in between. I'm just going to do select all between two, highlight them all for you. Now you're able to go ahead and work with those stones that were selected in between those two. So again, another cool tool that makes just makes it easier for you guys to grab and get those stones and able to work and manipulate that design. So again, it just makes your life easier because at the end of the day, what we're trying to accomplish is saving time, which is going to allow you to create those designs for your customer and get that product out to your customer a lot quicker. Alright, and how do you know what to put in as your settings for space? And Erica, honestly, for the settings for the spacing, that just comes out of repetition. You start seeing what works best. Like we found that 0.02 works for what we're cutting out, but of course, everybody's going to use different settings for that. Chrissy, yeah, if you do grab, let's go back here. If I hold control, what that control is going to do is just keep it on that path. Basically, it's going to keep it on a plane. So if I hold control, notice how I can't move it. I can only move it side to side on that actual plane or up and down. But when I was moving it around, I was not holding control. It just lets me move it freely throughout the page. If I hold control, it makes me stay on that path that I'm on. You see that? So that's what control does if you hold on to it. Alright, next one we have is our two-color magic text. The two-color magic text is a very useful tool, especially if you're working with different types of TrueType fonts. Now, not every TrueType font is going to be compatible with the two-color magic text. It all depends on how the TrueType font is created. The way we create ours, we create it so that it is compatible with our two-color magic text in Corel, in the wizard, which is going to allow you to add that second color to a font very easily, which allows you obviously to create a design much quicker. So again, we're gonna go back here and we'll do basketball this time. And let's go ahead and go to my fonts tab here, which I was showing you guys earlier. So here what we have is our fonts tab, which allows you to add your favorite fonts here. It's gonna give you a font preview. Also, it's gonna allow you to do a find font, which is gonna be able to type any font in. So I'm gonna type in TRW, and it's gonna bring up all our TRW fonts that we have created and listed into our font library. And I'm just gonna go ahead and do basketball, which is, I believe, already has saved up here. Maybe not. So let's go here and find basketball. Alright, so I got my basketball pattern here. So as you can tell right now, we only have our outline with our laces for the basketball. Now, of course, you probably don't, with this particular font, you don't want to make this long of a word just because the weeding process is going to be very painful for you guys. But you know, if you're doing several letters, school letters, then that'd be great for that. Maybe a short last name. But obviously, you don't want to go this big with this particular font. It's going to be a lot of weeding. But all we're going to do now is hit my two-color magic text here. And notice how it adds a second color for you guys. Great thing about this font, it already has the magic trap created in it. So you don't have to worry about any of the magic trapping. It's already done for you guys. So now this design is ready to go. So one thing we need to do first is, obviously we still need to do one thing with this design before we create the templates. Does anybody know what we need to do with this? Exactly. So first we need to actually mirror the design so we're able to create the templates. So I'm going to go to my mirror image feature up here in Corel, and it's going to mirror that design for me, and now we're able to create the templates. So as you can tell, that the two-color magic text basically allows you to add the second color to it and create a cool font, or excuse me, a cool text in a matter of seconds, and you're able to separate those colors and send to your cutter. Alright, so next tool we have is, I'm going to go ahead and skip down here to the bottom. We have our magic envelope tool, which is something brand new that we just came out with, a 2.1, and you guys have probably already seen a lot of the images that we've posted lately. Let me go ahead and bring in my football magic template here, which is going to have all the magic envelope tools ready to go. So as you can tell, kind of have this set up ready for you guys. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and ungroup everything here, and we'll go ahead and get just rid of this middle piece, and we'll bring these up a little bit. Alright, so what we have here is we'll have our football, and we have our high school at the top here. We have the mascot name, the sport, we have the number on the back, and we also have our position. So what we're first going to do is, obviously we have our templates created here, and you'll see the yellow boxes. Those yellow boxes are our envelopes. So what we want to first do is we're going to go ahead and add the school name to this particular design. One cool thing about the magic envelopes, you don't have to do one by one. You're able to do multiple designs at once. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to hold down shift while doing this, I'm going to hold down shift and I'm going to click on every single one of the top yellow boxes here that you see, and you'll see how cool this is. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit my magic envelope, bam, and now it's going to add it to that particular box. And notice I didn't change the size of the font. The font is still the same there, but the wizard knew to readjust the size of the font to make it fit into that box. So now we're able to go ahead and do the mascot name. So we're going to do the same exact thing. And notice that all these envelopes are all different. So they're all different, and it's still placing them all in the envelope correctly the way they need to go. And I don't have to do anything with each individual one because it's just going to it's going to know how to design that word to make it fit into the envelope. Yes, Leslie. This envelope is for sale. We also have several other ones. We have the soccer, baseball, basketball. So we have several different of these magic templates created already for you guys to purchase on the website. Makes really cool designs. So let's go ahead and show you guys here the mascot part of this design. So again, go ahead and select all my yellow boxes and my Mustangs that I want to go ahead and use here. So we're going to go ahead and use the Mustangs, and I'm going to do my magic envelope here. Oh, what happened here? Let me go ahead and try this again. So again, I'm going to just select my Mustangs. I'm going to select. And again, it's just going to do see how it just places the Mustangs directly inside that yellow box, and it makes it fit perfectly around that envelope. So really cool looking design. And now we want to add just, they obviously want the kid's number on there, which is going to be a nice upsell for that design because now that particular design is customized to their kid. So now we're able to add the number. So we want to add number 23 in the middle here, and we're just going to go ahead and select all our yellow boxes that we have created in this template. Again, you don't have to do anything. Once you purchase a template, it already comes like this, created for you guys. So we're going to go select, and we're going to hit my magic envelope here. Let me see what happened here. It's loading up. Let's do this again here. So we're going to go ahead and select. I don't think I selected all the boxes. So we're going to select, and I'm going to hit my magic envelope. And there you go. The 23 is now on our design. So now you have a very cool customized high school design for you guys to sell. So of course now we still have to take the yellow part. Before you do that, let's go ahead and fill this one in so you guys can see this one as well. Again, we can put our Lake Ranch here. We can put Mustangs football here. So let's go ahead and actually do Mustangs football instead so you guys can see how we do that. So we're going to go ahead and select my Mustangs, and I'm going to do select the yellow here and my magic envelope. Bam, we got our Mustangs created. Here I'm going to go ahead and create my football. I'm going to do magic envelope again. Oop. Sorry. And you'll notice you actually have to click on the word first. I'm going to do the word first, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on all my yellow here. All right, so we got our football there. And now again, I'm going to go ahead and do right here. Let's go ahead and do the number 23 again. So see how quick we can make these designs, and these can be, you can basically just keep mass producing this very quickly. You know, go ahead and send this to your cutter, and then you're able to go ahead and create more of these custom designs for the next player or the next teammate. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit my magic envelope, and there we go. So now all you have to do to get rid of those yellow boxes, I'm just going to select one yellow box here, and I'm going to go to my select same color. Here, it's going to select all those yellow boxes. Oh. What's going on here? Alright, so we're going to select all the same colors, and now we're able to drag those yellow boxes out. As you can see, hit delete. And one thing you'll notice with the football ones at the bottom here, we're just going to have to go here and notice how we can't see the football there, but it is there. So if you can tell, it is there. So all we're going to do is just go ahead and trim those out, and then we're ready to go with that Mustangs football design at the bottom there. So very quickly, you guys can make a lot of cool designs. So let's go ahead. Now this design is ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of some of these templates here. Alright, so now we have this Lake Ranch Mustangs football design created here. And what we're going to do is create a mock-up for it. So I want to go ahead and put this on a t-shirt. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight my design. I'm going to go to my mock-ups here. And let's go ahead and put that on a men's t-shirt. So we have our sizes 10.0, 10.1 right there. Perfect size for what we need it for. I'm just going to go to my men's t-shirt right here. I'm just doing to the front of the shirt. Click on it. And that's going to bring up my t-shirt ready to go. So you guys can see there is your mock-up. And you can go ahead and export this and send this to your customer. Obviously, we have our different options up here to add your logo, which I'm going to get into here momentarily. Now, I do have some questions coming in. Chrissy says, are y'all going to have a class on how to create these types of designs? I love that. And Chrissy, for that would be a little bit more of a, well, actually, it would be much more of a complex webinar. So that would definitely, you know, maybe in the future we will. We also are doing, you know, several different Corel Draw webinars that's going to show you how to use some of the different tools that Corel gives you that's going to allow you to create these kind of designs. So basically you're going to be able to use your tracing tools, your B-spline tool to create the footballs. You're going to be able to use it to create your the envelope tools down on the side here to create your envelopes. So I mean, it's going to those webinars with Corel Draw, the tips and tricks and shortcuts, all those are going to allow you to put everything together and get all those tools and put it together and actually be able to create these awesome looking designs yourselves. But as far as actually creating the designs, I'm not sure if we would actually be getting into that part anytime soon yet. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on. The next tab you guys will see up here is our place and fill. So the place and fill is where you're going to be doing most of your rhinestoning part of the software. So here you have your islands, your space. So the space is going to, you know, it's going to be like we were talking about before. That's the preset spacing is a 0.02, but you guys can change that to fit your cutter's needs as far as being able to cut the design properly without cutting the holes or ripping the template material. We use 0.02, but obviously you guys can use whatever you guys need to use to make it work for you guys. We have our contour spacing here that you guys already saw me using earlier when doing the magic trap. That's actually going to add just a border or a contour line to the design. But you can also do a contour of rhinestones, which I'll show you guys how to do here. So let's go ahead and get into this. So we have an island fill, offset fill, hatch fill. The offset fill we don't really use much of. That's just kind of there for those who do, you know, like to do different things with it. But it's not something that we get into too much. We basically use our island fill and hatch fill for the most part. So island fill, go show you guys here a couple different ways. So let's just say we have a couple circles here. And I'll show you the difference between the hatch fill and the island fill. So we're going to go ahead and do an island fill to the inside. Actually, let me go ahead and reset this. So I'm going to add stones. I'm going to do an island fill to the inside, and I'm going to select my object here. And what that's going to do is create islands according to that design, and it's going to give me those stones around it. So it's going to be a nice, clean finish if I'm using the island fill for more of a rounded design like we're using here. But I can also show you the hatch fill here, and you'll see the difference between a hatch fill and an island fill here, where it's not as nearly as clean. It almost gives you kind of the rough edge look to it because this is more creative for your block design. So if you're creating a design with like a college black text or the Arial black text, then you want to go ahead and use the hatch fill, which is going to give you a much cleaner finish than the island fill that you see here. All right. Also, we have our reset button here. This is also something new we just put into the 2.1. So if, let's just say we create let's go ahead here and create a cool looking scattered design. So let's just say we have a heart design and we want to do some cool effects around it to make it a multi-deck design. What we can do is we can go to islands fill up here. We can do 10. Let's go ahead and do 10. Decrease count by 9, and we'll do a fade by 0.02. And then we're going to do the fill to the outside. So I'm going to go ahead here and do a contour of 0.09, and we can hit our island fill. And what you'll see here is we have a cool looking design created, and obviously we just did a couple too many islands to the outside, but that's fine. That's not what we're looking at here. What we want to see is the cool effect on the outside here, and then you have your vinyl on the inside as well. So actually, let's go ahead here and get rid of some of these islands. So we'll do 8 islands to the outside, decrease count by 9, see what it does. So maybe 1 less here. Perfect. So now we have our design here. Notice how even if it comes out not right the first time, it's very quickly you can go back, reset it, and then figure out the right islands for the decreased count by, which is, that's the best way to find out what works with what settings there. Douglas, the heart option I found over here. So let's go ahead, and if you go down to the left side over here on the toolbar in Corel Draw, I went to my basic shapes. So if you go down the list here, now I am using X7. X6 is a little bit different, but it's still under the basic shapes tool. So you'll notice here I clicked on my little triangle at the bottom right corner, and I saw basic shapes. Clicked on that, and then you're able to go up here to the top toolbar, and you'll see where it says perfect shapes, and then you click on that little triangle at the bottom right corner, which is going to bring up all these cool looking designs here that you guys can use, utilize, and be able to create designs such as the one that we just created here. So I'm going to go ahead and just do clear paths, and now what we have is a cool looking design here with the rhinestones on the outside and the vinyl on the inside. So cool looking feature that we've added to the wizard just to make some scatter look designs, and gives it a cool effect to that actual looking design, especially now that Christmas is coming up. You can do some cool snow looking designs with that particular feature there. All right. Douglas said was going nuts on that one. Yeah, it's kind of hidden there, Douglas. So you just got to make sure that also that you go up to the top, because sometimes you'll see it's a different shape, and most people will say, "Oh, where'd it go? Where's it at?" But it's just in that drop-down menu up at the top. Erica, the clear paths. We have our clear paths option down here. You'll notice it has a path with an X at the end of it. All we're going to do, let's just say, let's go ahead and back to that design that we just created. I have my design here. I'm going to just select it, and if I just left click on it, it's going to just get rid of the path the wizard created. If I hold shift, it's going to get rid of all the paths, even the ones that Corel created. Oh, didn't hold shift there. Let me hold shift. And notice now the path in the middle, the vector file that we had in the middle, is gone as well now. So if you hold the shift button and hit clear paths, it gets rid of all paths, the ones that created by the wizard and the ones created by Corel Draw. And if you just if you don't hold shift, it's just going to get rid of all those paths that the wizard creates for you. All right, moving on. Now we have our mockups feature right here. So the mockups is a very, very huge feature that we always work with. Obviously, we want to be able to send them the design to your customer with that realistic look to it, so they know what they're getting out of it. So let me go ahead and bring a design in here. I'm going to bring my Love Football design here. So let's go ahead and ungroup these. So what we have here is a Love Football design. Looks very simple, very plain, but what we have done with the wizard is we have added a magic vinyl tab. That magic vinyl tab is basically something we've added to just make your designs look more presentable, where you can be able to send them that proof of that exact design, realistic look. You're not going to have to tell them, hey, look, imagine this color is this color, or imagine this is this splitter vinyl. No, none of that anymore, because what it's going to allow you to do is basically, I'm going to go in my magic vinyl, and you're going to see all our different colors of vinyl we have taken a picture of and installed right onto here. So you're able to go ahead and change the football. You want to make it look like the actual realistic football leather, the chemical vinyl that we carry. We're going to go to fashion vinyl. I'm going to go to leather, and now it has that realistic look to it. Let's go ahead and make the LVE. We'll make that maybe white vinyl. So here it is. Now you got the white glitter vinyl on the inside, and you also got the football leather for the football there. So let's go ahead and make this into a mock-up. So I'm going to go to my mock-ups here. We'll go ahead and, because we're using glitter, we'll go ahead and put this on a woman's shirt. So I'm going to click my woman's option here. We don't think we have a logo here. Maybe the TRW logo we do. So right here we have a drop-down menu. If you go to our edit tab here, it's going to actually allow you to create your own kind of description, watermarks. It's going to allow you to create your own mock-up setup there with your logo. It's going to have your watermark, and it's also going to have a description for you to be able to find it very quickly. Just hit save, and it's going to add it to that area, that drop-down menu there for you guys. So let's go back to mockups. All right, so let's go ahead and change the name, the TRW Love Football. So this is actually going to come up right at the top. The description is going to come up right at the top there for you guys. Let's go ahead and do a proof sheet. So I'm going to do proof to the front, and we're going to do it on our woman's scoop neck. And the great thing about this wizard also, if you scroll over any feature, it's actually going to tell you exactly what that feature is. Or at the bottom down here, you see where at the bottom, it's also going to tell you what that feature is. So if you're doing for the shirts, it's going to tell you what that shirt or what that accessory is, onesie, or if you go here, we're going to go card decal. So it makes it very easy to kind of tell what each item is in that customs part. And also at the bottom here, you'll notice where if I scroll over any of the features, it tells me exactly what that feature does for you. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and click on my woman's scoop neck, and I chose proof to the front, so it's actually going to create a proof sheet for me as well. And it's going to create the design on the top on the t-shirt. So here's the big design, so you can actually see the design fully here. And if you click on the background, you can actually change the black background color to make the design pop more. Same with the t-shirt. You're able to customize the t-shirt color here. So you just scroll through the different colors. It changes that. So again, it makes that design look more realistic on the shirt, so you can go ahead and send this to your customer. You got the name of the design up here. It tells you it's 5.5 inches tall by 10 inches wide. Down at the bottom here, we have our proof sheet. This proof sheet you can also edit. We have videos that show you kind of how to go into your settings and change all this text around to make it fit your company. So obviously we know maybe you don't do the quote is good for 7 days. You want to change that? No problem. You can actually also double click and change it to one time, or like I said before, you can go into the settings and change it permanently. But basically the proof sheet is going to give you a price quote, quantity discount, the design name, and it's also going to give you that documentation proof at the bottom where they're going to be able to sign this paperwork, and you're going to be able to say, that's just going to be documentation for later on if something does happen, if they maybe want the same design again, and that way you have documentation of exactly what they purchased last, with their name, address, everything they need right here. Any additional notes will go in here. So it makes it very quick and easy for you guys to go ahead and send a proof sheet to your customer, them sign it off, send it back, and now you're able to go ahead and get started on production time. All right, Stephanie says, well, I noticed when I add my watermark, I cannot edit shirt color. What would I be doing wrong? Actually, Stephanie, because the watermark is supposed to be in front of the whole design to protect it, what we tend to do is we won't add the watermark until the end. So now that I know this is the shirt color I want, now I'm actually able to create my watermark. So I'm going to highlight my design here, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit my watermark. So I'm just going to add my watermark, and now you can see the watermark is right in between. So now nobody's going to be able to go into this design and steal it because it's got that watermark protected. And now if you try to trace it, it's going to be a bunch of different blobs, which is not going to make a real design. But yeah, so far as the watermark, we definitely, you definitely probably want to just wait till the end. That way you can change the shirt color or maybe the background color over here and add anything you need to in the middle. If there's anything you want to actually add on to the image, you can do that all after. But yeah, the watermark, I would just wait till the end to add it. Or you can actually move it up to the top here because you can see it's just one layer. It's just a layer at the front. So you can actually just move it up to the top some, and then just click on your shirt, and you're able to change the shirt color still there. You see that? But I find it easier just to do it all at the end. That way I don't have to worry about the moving up and down or worrying about the watermark until the end of the design is created or the mock-up's created. No problem at all, Stephanie. And Erica also had another question. How do you know when you have to mirror for the cut? And that's a great question, Erica. Basically, with the vinyl material, with the glitter vinyl material, Easyweed, fashion vinyl, all that material has to be cut from the back. So that's how you know you're going to have to do a mirror cut. because it's cutting directly from the back of that material. Whereas the signed vinyl, you're cutting from the top of the material, the actual vinyl you're cutting out, so you don't have to worry about a mirror cut. Same thing with the sticky flock material, because you're cutting the top of the material, you don't have to worry about a mirror cut. So basically, the only time you're going to do a mirror cut is when you're using that vinyl, the heat transfer vinyl material. Alright, so now we're done with this mock-up. You just send it away, and you're ready to go. So that's another cool feature is that you're able to do the proof sheet, which you're able to send to your customer, has the documentation at the bottom. Very, very useful. Alright, so moving on, we also have our export feature here. The export feature, again, you're able to export the AI file, publish the PDF, PNG. So once you are done with that, creating that design or that mock-up, you're able to now to either export the EPS file, or you're able to export the PDF or PNG to send the customer that mock-up proof. You also have your export to GenMaster, so if you guys are using the CAMS machine and you want to export your file to the GenMaster, now you no longer have to export the AI and then bring in the file into the GenMaster. You're able just to go directly from Corel Draw here, select your design, and export the file. We also have our send to cutter feature here, so if you're using Roland, the Cameo, or the GraphTech, GCC, we don't have the macro installed on here, that's why you see it grayed out, but if you are using X6, you're able to go ahead and cut directly from the macro in Corel Draw using this feature here in the wizard. And all you really have to do for that is, let's just say you have your design created. We're just going to go ahead and create a heart here, and then you can just click on your Roland and hit send to cutter. But notice how I don't have Cut Studio down here. It tells me I don't have Cut Studio installed, so of course it's not going to send it to the cutter. But you see what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to read the design, and it's supposed to read the cutting software, and then sends it directly to your cutting software. So you're able to cut those designs a lot quicker. Alright, next thing is our templates tab, which I showed you a little bit earlier about. It's basically going to separate the colors for you. So let's just say we're going to let me go ahead and bring in this design, the baseball mom here. Suzanne, at this point, do you save as a file? Well, Suzanne, if you're saving the actual vector file, what you actually want to do is, let's go back to the export feature. You either want to do an export EPS, SVG, or save to CDR. The export EPS is going to allow you to bring it into all your different softwares that are compatible with EPS files. The CDR files, those are particular Corel Draw files, so only Corel Draw is going to be able to open those files. So in your case, that you want to bring it into another cutting software, you either want to do EPS or SVG, whichever your software is compatible with. Does that make sense? Okay. Alright, so what we have here is our baseball design, and let me go ahead and ungroup these, and you can tell there's 3 different colors here. So we have this design is already created and ready to go. So what we want to do is obviously create the templates for it. So we have told the wizard so the wizard knows now that it's going to create 3 templates because it has 3 different colors, and it's also going to make those templates all the same size. What that's going to allow you to do, it's going to be a registration mark, so when you're actually brushing in the stones, your different layers, it's going to allow you to layer those the sticky flock templates on top of each other, and the sizing is going to be used as registration to make your life easier when actually lining them up on top of each other. So what I'm going to do is just highlight my design, and I'm going to go over here. First thing I always like to do when I bring in a design that I've created and I've saved, I always want to do replace stones. That way it tells me that every single stone in there is the correct size, so there's going to be no oddball templates created because of a different size stone. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight my whole design. I'm going to go to my templates here, and I'm going to do create TRW magic templates, and notice how quickly it separates all 3 colors for me, and now this is ready to send to your cutter. So this right here is what you will send to your cutter, and this design is ready to go. It's a very quick, very easy method to separate all those colors for you, and you don't even have to worry about resizing the template size because it's already done for you guys. Alright, so next thing I want to show you guys is the respace tool, which is a very useful tool that we use quite often here, and basically allows you to respace the stones accordingly and proportionally, so that way it makes the design again looks more professional. So let's go ahead and bring in my S here for Magic's respace. Alright, and I'm just going to go ahead and ungroup these. So now you can tell we have 6 different S's here, all scattered around, all the circles are scattered around. So the top one, this is all the same color and all the same size. So no biggie. Let's go ahead and highlight. I'm going to hit my respace. Bam. Now it respaced all those stones correctly. And now look how nice that design looks. If you want to add some more stones, just hit your up arrow here, and it's going to add stones to that design to make those stones get a lot closer together. You're done with that. Go ahead and hit your shift, clear paths. Bam. Now your S is created, ready to go. Alright, here in the middle we have same color, but we have different stone sizes. No problem. Highlight your S, hit your magic respace, bam, ready to go. Now you have your S with different size stones spaced accordingly. That design now looks perfect. That design would be ready to go. Now we have different colors, different size, and all scattered around. So again, I'm going to go to my respace. Oh, I think I hit it twice there. So I hit it. So if you did it once, there it is. There's my respaced accordingly. And if you want to get rid of some here, all you have to do is just hit your up and down arrow. So now we're done. Hit shift, clear paths, bam, you're ready to go. Now down here's a little trickier. We have all of them scattered, but we actually created a path for this particular design, for this particular S. So now I'm actually going to click on the actual path, and then I'm going to hit my respace tool here, which is going to respace all those stones for me. Same thing here. Same color, different sizes. I'm going to go here, respace, and now we have our S created, and you can hit your arrow key down to get rid of some of those extra stones that we don't want in there. And finally, we have the same concept here. Different colors, different sizes, all scattered. I'm going to go ahead and hit my magic respace, and now if I do down on my arrow key here, notice how it keeps moving, and it's actually decreasing the stone count, so it's giving me a lot more spacing in between the stones. You see that? So now this design would be ready to go there. So again, that's the Magic Respace tool. Very, very useful tool, especially if you're working with designs such as a heart, which the heart is kind of a tougher design just because of the angles coming down. So the Magic Respace tool was going to help clean up those areas where there's a lot of gaps in between the stones. Kelly said, "Dear Lord, I'm drooling on my computer." Awesome, awesome. Yeah, that Respace tool, again, it's a very useful tool, but because it's kind of on the bottom here, you know, a lot of people don't kind of bypass it, but that is a very, very useful tool. Another cool tool that we have featured down here is our mark top layer, mark bottom layer, and merge overlap. So let's just say we have, go ahead and create a circle here, and we'll do a box here. And we want to go ahead and just put some stones in here. And what I'm going to do is basically just make these overlap so you guys can see the merge overlap and the mark top layer and mark bottom layer. So let's go ahead and do a hatch foot for this one. Alright. And again, I'm going to go ahead and clear my paths here. You always want to clear paths, because if you don't, what's going to happen is once you send it to your cutter, the cutter is going to read those paths as a cut line, and it's going to cut right through that path, through that design. So I'm going to do an Allen fill to this one. Again, clear paths, and I'm going to actually change this color to purple. So now what we have here, I don't know what happened there. So now we're purple. So now you can tell they're all overlapping here. So what I want to do is I'm going to highlight my design. So if you want to just kind of see which stones are overlapping, you can do a mark top layer, and that's just going to make those ones that are actually touching red, and you're actually able to get those out of there. And now it's going to give you a nice open area right here. So you're able to work with that design, make the one in the back kind of pop. And you could do the same if you do a mark bottom layer. Same concept. You would just take the purple stones out of there, and the yellow would show through. Another thing you can do, instead of doing that, you can also hit your merge overlaps here. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to do merge overlap. And now it does the same thing for you. Notice how it just does, it leaves all those stones touching for you. And now because the yellow is on the top, notice what happens if I have, let's say I have all these right here. I'm going to do select all same color, and I'm going to bring this to the front. So if I go to my edit tab here, I'm just going to go ahead and bring this to the front of the design. So now the purple's in the front. So now if I do my merge overlap, what's going to happen is you're going to see that the purple is going to go away and the yellow is going to come on top. You see that? So if you have whatever's on the top will go away, and then the bottom piece is going to kind of come through and show in the design. So again, very cool tools down here to, again, just clean up that design that you've created. That, you know, you always want to do a merge overlap, make sure none of those stones are touching or duplicated, because obviously the cutter's going to read that and it's going to do multiple cuts on that, and especially if you don't want that, especially if you have a double cut feature already selected, you know, it's going to cut multiple times and it's going to not going to cut as good as you want it to. All right. So the last one I want to show you is the design prep. Another cool feature in here, it's going to allow you to, instead of using your features up here, select same color, select same size. Let's say you have, we'll go ahead and bring that baseball mom back out here. Alright, so let's say we have this baseball mom design here, and we have duplicates of it. So let's go ahead and make another one here on the side. So your customer calls you, and they really want this one to be a certain color and this one right here to be a certain color. So right now, if I were to go ahead and want to change the color of the bat, and I did select same color, what's going to happen is both designs are going to be selected, which is not what I want. Obviously, I want the one on the left to be a certain color and the one on the right to be a certain color. So that's why we created the design prep tool here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight my design here, and I'm going to go to my process by color. So I click process by color. Now it's going to just select that design's colors. So now you notice I hit my first one. It's going to bring up the jet black, and that's the baseball mom. So I want to make that in crystal. Let's go ahead and hit this process by color again. It's going to bring up the red cyan here around the baseball. Let's go ahead and keep that. And we'll go ahead and process by color, and let's go ahead and make that light topaz. Perfect. So now what we see is we have the one on the left is one color, and now the one on the right was never touched. So now you can go ahead and change that to whatever the customer's needs are. So you're able to do two different designs very quickly at the same time without actually having to change, without actually having to do select all colors and mess around too much with the settings. Just basically allows you to go in there and change those colors very quickly, and you can now create a mock-up with the front of the shirt and the back of the shirt. Alright, so that's another one I want to show you before we go here is we've actually created in the mock-up feature as well a way that you can actually put the t-shirt design on the front of the shirt, and also you can add any custom names or numbers to the back of the shirt. So let's just say you have your baseball here, mom created, now you want to add the last name to the back. So let's go ahead and let's just do TRW. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my fonts here. I'm just going to let's do baseball images. And notice how, again, this is that font, another font that we have created, that we can just go ahead and go to our edit tab, to color magic. It's going to add the second color for me. You see that? So now we have the TRW, which is going to be going on the back of the shirt. And now we can go ahead and create, let's just do 24. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and center this. And let's go ahead and choose our baseball laces for the numbers. Alright, let's go ahead and go to TRW here, and I'm just going to choose my baseball laces. Let's see where we got baseball laces up here. Alright, now the only difference with the numbers is you can't use the two-color magic text because it is numbers. The two-color magic text only works for the letters. But what I can do is I can still do the two-color magic text, which is going to duplicate that color, or those numbers. And I'm just going to go ahead and re-highlight. I'm going to hold shift and just type out 24, and it adds a second color for me. You guys see that? Does anybody need to see that again? So all I did was I typed out my 24, selected my baseball font, and then I went ahead and hit my two-color magic text, which just duplicated the 24, and then I just highlighted it all. Again, hit shift and retype 24, and that gives me that effect there. So now this design is ready to go. Oh, and notice how right now it's only the orange selected, so let's go ahead and select both colors. And now we have our TRW there, and we have, it's a little large, so let's go ahead and make this just a tiny bit smaller. And we'll make this just smaller as well. So notice how because it's a vector file, you guys are able to actually customize this any way you want it to, any size you want it to, because it is a vector file. So now what we're able to do is put the TRW24 on the back of the t-shirt and then this on the front. So let's go ahead and go to my mockups again. I'm going to go to we'll just do single shirt, front and back. Let's go ahead and do TRW, and again, just change the settings at the top here. Baseball mom, we'll do our TRW logo, and then let's go ahead and add it to the woman's, let's just do dry fit front. So I click on my design, and now I do have to have it all inside my workspace, so that way the wizard knows what to read the front and the back of the shirt. So right now it's just reading through the whole design, and it's going to go ahead and add it to the back of the shirt and the front of the shirt. So you see that? And it is proportionate. Notice how it's a smaller design there, but now you're able to change the color of the shirt here. So you can change it to black, you can change it to gray, whatever color you need to change it to. You can change that, and then same with the one on the right hand side. But you can tell that it is puts the TRW, the name on the back with a number, and then also the rhinestone design on the front of the shirt. Again, just makes your life a lot easier when creating those mock-ups, and you're able to send it to your cutter. Sherry said the same thing. I'm drilling on my computer too. I really need to upgrade my Stone Wizard. I'm at 1.14. And Sherry, the great thing about the Stone Wizard is that we're never going to charge you the same amount again because you've already paid a full amount previously for the 1.14. You're able to get the new upgrade, which is a 2.1, for just the difference. So I believe right now the difference is only $70 on the website. So you're actually able to go on there and purchase the Wizard for $70, or excuse me, the upgrade for $70. Again, you'll never have to pay the full amount ever again. All right, and Russ says that must have been the slow kid in class. Gotta watch the replay. Okay, nope. Do you want to see it again, Russ, real quick? I can do this real quick for you. Here we go. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make this just a bit bigger for you guys here. And I'm going to go ahead and bring my Wizard out. So all I did, I've created my designs. Now I have the back of the t-shirt here, and I have the front of the shirt here. So whatever you want on the front is what you want to go ahead and highlight. So I'm going to highlight this portion of the design because that's what I want on the front of the t-shirt. I'm going to go right here to my Mockups feature. I'm going to go to my drop-down menu. And my drop-down menu is going to have all the different options that you can choose from. But I want to go ahead and just do a double front. So I'm going to just do double front t-shirt. I'm going to go ahead and just use a women's because I'm using Rhinestones. And I'm going to go ahead and just select the scoop neck here. And again, it's going to run through the design. It's going to do all the stones. This baseball mod design is a little bit bigger design. That's why it takes a little bit longer for it to create the actual mock-up. But now you can see here we have our TRW, and now I chose a different option here. I did double front, not double front only, but that's going to give you, oh, okay, I see what I did. I only did double front, guys. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and go back real quick here, and then let's choose the correct settings on our mockup tab here. So we'll do double front and back. All right, and then let's go ahead and do my woman's scoop neck again. Bethany, actually the Wizard reads whatever is highlighted. So as long as both designs are inside the workspace. Now Bethany's question was, does the mockup read the images left to right to place them to front to back? No, it actually only reads whatever is highlighted is going to go in the front, and whatever is not highlighted is going to go on the back of the shirt. Yes, exactly, Russ. Yes, the highlighted is the default for the front of the shirt. And now if I zoom in, now you can tell. Now I chose the front and back, not just the shirt only, because I wanted to show you that it does give you the stones here. And if I had selected the stone detail, it would also tell me all the stone detail as well, as far as how many colors it has and the different sizes and everything you need to know. Now, as you can tell, the last thing you want to do is make this mock-up really look professional and realistic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit my magic stones here. And what that's going to do for me is just going to go ahead and create those circles and convert them to rhinestones. Again, it's just basically allowing you to tell your customers that this is how it looks. You're going to get the realistic look out of it. You know, you're not cheating them out of anything because you're going to get to see that full design created, ready to go. And again, you can just change the color of the shirt there. Same with the bottom design here. So you have your TRW created on the back of the t-shirt. Let's go ahead and just make that green. Now this design is ready to go. Keep it inside your workspace. You can change the size if you want to. You can always resize the mock-up, whatever you need to do with it here before you actually export the file. From here, I would just go to my publish to PDF or export PNG, and now I know that mock-up is ready to send, so I can go to my email my customer. In a matter of seconds, they have this design on a t-shirt ready to go for them to approve or not. Thank you guys. All right, so it does look like we went just a little bit over. Hopefully, I hope everybody learned a lot today. Again, we do have another webinar tonight. It's at 9 o'clock. Let me go ahead and just refresh you here. Let me go ahead and bring back that. All right, I'm going to go over here, and let's go back to the list right here. So again, remember, tonight, Corel Draw and TRW Stone Wizard tips and tricks when creating unique designs. Make sure you guys go on there and sign up for that one. It's going to be a great great webinar for you guys. And that one is going to be more of an experienced webinar. It's going to be more intermediate rather than beginner. Yesterday afternoon we had the beginner webinar, just a basic Corel Draw introduction. So it was very, very basic, going over some of the most used tools in Corel Draw. But right here, it gives you the ability to just click right here. It's going to take you right to the registration page. So you're able to go ahead and purchase that webinar on there. It is $10, but it's $10 well spent, because we also, at the end of every webinar, especially for the paid ones, we tend to do a little, giveaway or a little discount or a little coupon code for a couple hours for you guys, just to kind of help you out. So definitely make sure, you go in there, and, obviously you don't want to pay $15 for the recorded version. It's always nicer to actually be there live, being able to see and ask questions. We always have somebody on the other end answering the questions. Today it was Doc Brown, so he was actually helping us out, answering the questions on the back, so I want to thank him as well. Definitely want to thank everybody for joining us today. We had a great turnout. Looks like we had over 90 people on this one today, so that's awesome. And we are just growing more and more every webinar, so that's awesome. Looks like we are getting the word out there about the education. Obviously, as you guys know, education to us is huge, so we're trying to do as much as we can to educate you guys and get you guys, your business where you guys need it to be. As always, if you guys have any questions at all, you always can email us, call us. We're there to help you guys through the process. I know this can be overwhelming, and this software can be overwhelming. Corel Draw can be overwhelming, but you know what? Nobody in here, I can guarantee you, went to school for rhinestoning. So we've all had to learn. We've all gone through the process, so we know what it's like. Again, I was never a graphic designer in school. I never did any of this stuff in school. I played baseball. Matt was my coach, so basically I've just been taught and learned everything through videos and through, what Matt's taught me. So it can be done, and, I think all of you guys in here are more than willing to learn. So I do appreciate your time. I know it is Veterans Day, and we have a lot to give thanks to today, but I do appreciate you guys coming in today and joining me on this webinar, as well as Doc Brown on the other hand over there helping with the questions. Does anybody have any other questions before we go here? Awesome, guys. Again, make sure to sign up for the webinar today. Also, make sure to take advantage of the Veterans Day coupon over here. We do have the 30% download files, 10% off, Rhinestones, heat transfer vinyl, and tools and accessories, all right here on the website. So make sure you guys go ahead and take advantage of those deals. Again, it ends tonight at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Jen, how do we upgrade very first wizard? Jen, in that case, shoot us an email. If it's the very first version, I don't believe we have the upgrade on the website, but feel free to shoot us an email at info@rhinestone.world.com, and we can direct you towards the right version. It might have been, was it a Stone editor, or I believe it was the editor back in the day, which was the first one. Okay, yeah, that one definitely, I don't think that one's on the website anymore. Shoot us an email and we can see what we can do for you, all right? Awesome, guys. Awesome. Okay, so it looks like we ran out of time here. Again, thank you everyone for joining us today. If you have any questions, 941-755-1696. I hope everybody has a great day and a great work week. Have a good one, guys.